I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. Another version of me, I was in it. I waved goodbye to the end of beginning. Goodbye. Let's learn the song that's going viral again on TikTok, End of Beginning by Djo on the guitar. If you want to play this without any bar chords, place your capo on fret number 2, and then let's go over the strumming pattern first because that's pretty consistent throughout the entire song. What you're going to do is you're going to strum down on eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so let's add some chords. We have C for 8 counts or 2 measures, A minor for 1 measure, A minor for a half measure or 2 counts, and then a G. So then you have C. Let's try that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just one more tear to cry, 1 teardrop A minor. A minor, 1 and 2, G, 3 and C. The middle of the night, when things aren't A minor. Now you have a D minor for 2 counts, and then a G. So you see I'm switching Gs instead of this one. I'm using this one. So you could choose whatever one you'd want to, but I love this one from D minor to G because it has the ring finger in common. Plant your pinky underneath, and then whoop, these strings go closest to your nose, or the second string closest to your nose, like that. All right, so D minor is going to be for 2 counts, so this switches time signatures. D minor for 2 counts from 2-4, G 4-4, D minor 2-4, G 4-4, and then we have an NC that stands for no chord, doesn't stand for North Carolina. Sorry, had some students in the past ask me about that. It's like, it means no chord. So that means you hold it for 4 counts, or you could just cover your strings and then strum 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's go over that, the middle of the night. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The middle of the night, when things aren't A minor. D minor, 1 and 2 and G and 2 and 3 and D minor, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we get to the chorus, which has an F major 7 chord. Any excuse to play an F major 7 or any major 7th chord. Those are my favorite. It's like an F chord like this, but you're going to leave this E open, which is so awesome for beginners, and it's beautiful. Right above it is a C, these 2 fingers. And then I like to play my G this way, especially if I'm using this method right here. Do you see how these 2 fingers, they just kind of creep up 1 string closer to my nose and then 1 string closer to my nose again? I like that technique a lot. After that, you have an A minor for 2 counts, G for 2 counts, F major 7. Then back to C, G, F major 7. You're going to hold that for 8 counts. All right, let's walk through that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. Another version of me, I was in it. I waved goodbye to the end of beginning. Goodbye, goodbye. Then you have another verse, another chorus. Then we get to the bridge. You're going to be switching between a G to an A minor, and the A minor is going to be just a little different. You really have to count those 8th notes. I'm going to show you why. So the G, you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on the and of 3, you're going to switch to your A minor and then back to the G. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You take this and out of the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Take the man out of the city, but you can't take F major 7. And when I'm back in Chicago, feel it. Another version of me, I was in it. If you want more free tutorials, I'm going to put them over here. And if you are looking for a place to actually start the guitar, you just want a firm foundation, I have a guitar course over here on my Patreon, and I hope to see you in the next one. And remember, you are loved. Bye.